There we are.
Yes, we made it. What, 200?
Thank you. Oh, we made it. The thing, right? I was like,
Yes.
it's like, you have to go anywhere. Yeah.
211th episode. So, yeah, it keeps happening.
So much keeps happening. It keeps happening all the time, all at once, something like that.
Yes.
What was it? So much happens all the time? Something like I don't remember. Yeah.
Hey, Matt, how's it going?
Hey, hi, Matt.
Malwinius.
Malwinius. That's
All right.
nice. Winning.
Oh, very cool.
Let me send out the...
Oh. Nice. Well, thanks for supporting Kokoro no Me. They appreciate that, I'm sure. Yeah,
Ooh,
that's
nice.
great. Yeah, I had dinner with Jackson last month.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. He's doing good, but full-time job, game company. So he's very busy, and and especially after pandemic, live music was hard to do, and now it's hard to get back. And now those live houses and stuff want to make up that money, so it's all bringer shows. You know, it's like, yeah,
as in bring your audience.
Yes. So you can play here, but you got to get 10 people to pay 3,000 yen. So we need to make at least $300.
3,000 yen.
Yeah, 3,000 yen for just whatever.
Just showing up.
Hour
right.
show.
Okay.
Yeah, just
Okay.
the door. Yeah.
Right.
So it's
Could they distribute that 10 people for 3,000 yen? How about 100 people for 300 yen? like as long as they're making the same amount of money.
As long as it doesn't break fire codes. Yeah.
Again, thinking about the 1 or 2 live shows I went to here, the venues here, they're not big.
Yeah, no, they're
so it's
very
like
small,
as many people as you
this
can
could be
fit
a
in.
live house. This space.
Yeah.
You just put the band over there. Yeah, they're really small. Yeah, that's a very unique thing if you haven't seen that in Japan. So imagine all the dive bars and every place that will let a band play that'll have live music in the U.S. But then you have to pay for it, and most of the time they don't even serve drinks. It's just this little regimented.
And cut that size of the whatever place in half.
Yeah, right. And it's just a listening room. Yeah, you've got to pay this big door fee, and you just go listen to this band and then leave.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah, listen to the band and leave. Right, they don't want you. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So but he's doing well.
Oh,
Yeah,
good.
Doing really well. Yeah, I hope we can get him running something again. He's a great. He's great for Paizo. He loves the
Starfinder and Pathfinder. Yeah.
So that'd be great. And if they ever get out that horror setting, there was a Starfinder that he ran a first early playtest of. If they get that finished, that would be a fun thing.
I'm surprised that's not finished.
Yeah,
Wasn't that the third?
It's been coming out kind of in dribs and drabs. I forget what it's called, but
the module is something Abator 13.
Yes,
something like
right,
that.
exactly. Yeah.
Oh, that's right, because that was a third party thing, wasn't it?
And they've been working on it for a while, so we'll be getting PDFs one of these days. But that's right. Yeah, Matt's saying in the U.S. comedy clubs are where they screw you. Yeah, where they make you go collect your own audience to come.
I think I've been
perform.
to one comedy club once in university, and I don't remember.
Yeah, so I guess it is the equivalent. It's like band open mics basically in Japan. Live houses are basically open mics for bands. So bring your equipment. Yeah, that's crazy.
Oh, jeez.
All right. So any gaming news? Anything you've been messing around with?
Not really. The thing I've been messing around with. No, nothing gaming related, right? The one bright spot that I saw is Free League's Building Better Worlds.
Oh yeah.
Alien RPG, the Colonist Campaign.
Yes.
Framework is you get a PD the pre-order is
open
now.
Right.
It was there was a pre-order a while back, I guess, but the pre-order is still open, and the PDF is done.
Shipping.
Where if you I might have to go do it. If you pre-order it now, you get the PDF almost instantaneously. Right.
Yeah, I'm waiting for that Blade Runner second case file.
Oh, nice.
To get on pre-order. That's supposed to happen this year, but we're running out of year.
We're running out of
year. Yeah, the year's coming to an end.
It is, yeah.
So I hope it happens before. I think they said fourth quarter, so they got a lot.
This is fourth quarter, right? Fourth quarter is right up until the end of December, right?
Right. So looking forward to that. Yeah, I think I'm going to be running my first Dungeon Crawl Classics funnel.
Nice.
Soon,
in Dungeon Crawl Classics?
Yes, of course. Yeah.
I think I might have. I think someone gave me a set of the
dice.
The dice.
Yes.
I don't think there's a D7 in there though. I definitely have a D3,
mm-hmm.
and I got a 5.
And
I got a 30 and like a 24. So I think I got a bunch
14
of them. Yeah. Oh, I think I have a 14.
24,
yeah. It's like they're those like weird kind of like double conical things, and the sides just get like smaller and smaller and smaller.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they leaned heavily into the polyhedral for that system. Yeah, the dice chain. Yeah. So yeah, it'll be fun. And I've never run that before. I think it's going to feel, because I played. We played the Warlock version with. Warhammer Fantasy, so I think this will be similar to that. You're going to start off pretty lowly, and
that's kind of
they're going to take a beating.
That's the appeal of the fun, or not the appeal, but that's like the draw of the funnel, right? You're just like, I'm not going to make a character. I have like 5 characters, and whichever one survives till the end.
Yes,
that's the one.
That's the one. Yes, yeah, and I like it has the luck mechanic as well in it. So that's something I really liked in Warlock. So
I don't know if I actually ever played Dungeon Crawl Classics. I think I've read it, and I kind of went, okay, right? Like not bad at all, but like the glut. That's a pretty negative word of kind of OSR D20 kind of thing. I'm just like, I didn't really feel it was bringing anything that made me go, oh wow, this is the one. However, I have adapted any number of Dungeon Crawl Classic modules to other systems, right? So I really like them. I've even used them to run Dungeon World games, right? So nice. I really like the Dungeon Crawl Classic modules. They're pretty classic, like hack and slash, like kind of know which NPC you're supposed to talk to and which you're supposed to just automatically run through with a sword, right? But I mean, they're fun.
Right. Yeah, so we'll see. And I'm not sure. I'm still debating. Which funnel? If it's going to be the one in the book or the Sailors on the Starless Sea. Yeah. So I'm not sure. I've heard good things about that one. So yeah, we'll see. But we'll
funnel it up.
Funnel it up. So yeah, we're gonna slaughter as many of those 8 characters as possible.
Yeah. Oh, is it 8 per person?
They're 4 each. So
okay.
So 2 players. So we'll see how that goes. Yes. So first time to do that. So yeah, it should be fun, and I hope they lean into the kind of the Gonzo aspect of that game setting and those mechanics and even the wacky tables and everything. You know, it's that I hope they can really
like you strip out those wacky tables and it's just kind of like.
Right. Yeah, because I showed them the book and they're like, what? And it's like, no, the rules are just this. It's tables. It's your spell failure tables. Yes.
I still really want to get the black hack to the table.
Oh yeah.
Because that's another one where it's like the rules are this and the rest is just kind of tables.
Yeah. That would be good. All right, so I'll update everyone on how that goes.
How many characters die?
Oh, yeah, Matt's saying, kind of love-hate with DCC. So like the spirit of it, but the most disorganized publisher on the planet.
Publisher? Okay, maybe. Yeah, I can't really comment on the publisher, right? If it was a book, like, have you read one of those old Rick Priestley war game things? Anyway.
Yeah, they're just paying homage, right?
I don't know. Yeah.
Right, yeah, but I think Matt's been down on the editing, the lack of editing, like the errors and stuff, and kind of, a little bit of difficulty in presentation, but
Turn to table 135. There is no 135.
Right. We met 136.
Yeah.
You should know that. All right, so let's get started for this week. Yeah, so good to see everyone in chat. Yeah. And and some Star Trek tomorrow. We're going to finish our scary. Yeah, it's appropriately horrific for this season. It's gonna get weird. It hasn't. It's like they're on the cusp of
so
weird.
A Star Trek episode directed by Cronenberg.
Yeah, right. Pretty much it is. It is pretty much a Cronenberg.
Oh, okay, right. I was just pulling something out. All right.
A Cronenberg Star Trek. Yeah, if David Cronenberg decided to write an episode. I'm giving it away. Matt, don't listen. Cover your ears.
So transporter malfunction.
Oh yeah, well, it was almost. Yeah, but they took a shuttle.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, they didn't risk it because I said you're gonna have to roll for that. They're like, okay,
never mind.
Everyone in the shuttle.
So I can. Okay, I'm not a Trekkie by any means, but I could see like in the episode it would be like everyone's on the transporter, right? And it's like we're having a bit of a problem with the thing. Oh no, never mind. Done. Just we'll shuttle it. Right?
All of your characters are now one character. You have to roll off to see who plays them. All right.
Gross.
Yeah, I'm sure that's happened somewhere. Oh man,
isn't that the Jeff Goldblum fly?
All right. Oh yeah, right. Exactly. Okay, so let's do this. Welcome to the Weekly. I'm Jeremy.
I'm Chris.
And this week on the Weekly, Netflix sued by evil genius.
Oh, I've heard about this. Yep.
Yes. Okay. Backerkit bans AI.
Okay, thank you.
Undaunted goes sci-fi.
Yep.
And Random House drops Dungeons and Dragons, which is
like everybody should, but
right,
okay, whatever.
Right. Yeah. And we'll end on a happy note with Art by Noor.
Oh yeah, nice.
Okay. So all right, let's do this. So yeah, the first story. This is not. I don't know. There's not a side to choose.
Okay.
This.
Okay. Interesting.
I don't know. It sounds like somebody's getting screwed over, but So, Evil Mind Games was developing a Rebel Moon TTRPG. I'm sorry, Evil Genius Games was developing a Rebel Moon TTRPG for the Netflix property that Zack Snyder is directing. First part is coming out this winter. Rebel Moon is kind of what he was going to pitch to Disney for his Star Wars thing, and then it ended up just being, okay, I'll do it myself because you don't want to go R-rated Star Wars. And so they hired Evil Genius, who is kind of, it reminds me of Men of Action, or that one animation studio that was just a bunch of Hollywood hacks that just kind of like reaped a bunch of money from the children's television programming and did like Spider-Man cartoons and stuff. And it was just a bunch. Okay. So I'm not really on these guys' side. They're the ones that do Everyday Hero. And so they have all those, they've already had the experience of getting all those licenses for the major 80s and 90s movies to make their settings with. So we talked a little bit about their Highlander, about how they're the ones doing Highlander.
These guys. Okay. Right.
Yeah. So I know I'm not like really on their side, but it sounds like Netflix sucks. It sounds like
yeah. Okay.
And this is this is a good example of, I'm doing too much preamble, but a good example of license stuff is difficult because they can pull the rug on you at any moment. Right. That's the trick of licensing.
And that's what
properties.
Happened.
Yeah. Yes. And that's exactly what happened. So they're developing this, and it sounds like they significantly, so a little bit of the timeline, Evil Genius says on their website, we signed an official agreement with Netflix on March 22nd, 2023. So just earlier this spring. Okay. To create a game and RPG related materials, promising a finished game that coincided with the film's release on December 22nd. So that's tight.
Yeah.
For producing, like an entire system and setting.
So. Well, okay. I'm not saying it's not tight. That's 9 months.
Mm-hmm.
And like I read a little bit about the blurb, right? And maybe I'm jumping ahead here. They said like they produced like a 300-page whatever. But I'm like, okay. As someone who is not impressed by page count, so right? Like that's my opinion. Like okay, yeah, 9 months to put out. If you're putting out like a Hasbro quality like hardback book, that's really. Okay, that's impossible. 9 months, right?
Right.
But if you're putting out like, I don't know, something smaller, more compact, it's still pretty tight, but...
Oh, right. Yeah, we don't know
you could do it, right?
Format
anyway.
And, yeah, right.
Well, also, I don't know what kind of contract they signed or if it stipulated a page count or how much material they had to create or something. So... Yeah. Anyway, okay. Sorry.
Yeah, but it is. Yeah, you're right though. It is impressive page counts based on. I don't know. We don't know the font size, so maybe it's
72 point font. Okay,
right.
Yep.
So they created a 228-page World Bible, a 337-page Game Master's Guide, and a 430-page Player's Guide for Rebel Moon, and so. Another quote from the website, unfortunately, after delivering this unbelievable world and tabletop role-playing game to Netflix, it canceled the contract and is asserting that the IP was that they created, that I guess Evil Genius created, along with the entire game, now belongs to them. So Netflix also refused to compensate us fairly for our work. And so we don't know numbers. They're saying fairly, right. So that there was an offer. Right. And the way that they put the contract in breach is claiming that Evil Genius either brought some images or they brought some materials to, I think, Gamma, a trade show, and were showing stuff off. They claimed that they had prior permission and that the images and things that were on like flyers that were being handed out by both Evil Genius and Netflix staff. So it was not a thing they were secretly doing or anything. The CEO of Evil Genius says, our aim is to ensure our team is recognized for their fantastic work and that we can release the game to millions of TTRPG enthusiasts to enjoy. It's disheartening to see Netflix peddle on this content that was jointly showcased and received their prior consent. So we urge our supporters to contact Netflix and Zack Snyder, like he doesn't have enough to worry about,
right,
to push for the release of this game.
Okay, I think I'm gonna have to be on the evil genius side, only because, like you said, Netflix sucks.
Right. And yeah, we're not quite sure.
But contacting Zack Snyder ain't gonna do shit, right? Like, it sounds like,
no, go to his house.
Yeah, exactly. Like that. Don't do that, right? If anything, it would be Netflix, right? Netflix would be the only people you would contact. Yeah.
Go to Netflix's house. Yeah. So previously, Evil Genius has done Escape from New York, Total Recall, Rambo. So, so they're acquainted, The Crow, Kong Skull Island, Pacific Rim, and then, of course, Highlander, which we talked about.
Right.
So this is all for their D20 modern-inspired everyday heroes RPG. So they're not new to dealing with studios, but maybe Netflix was just a little shady. The interesting thing in this is, so Netflix is claiming they own everything they did. And they also discussed that this world Bible that Evil Genius created is going to be used for video games that are produced, maybe further, to further expand this world. So the work that they did to expand Zack Snyder's, universe, like what he didn't cover in the movie or what the holes in the setting,
Zack Snyder, I'm sure there's a lot.
They filled in. And so Netflix said, we'll give you $50,000 and then we're done with you. And they said, not acceptable. So they're taking them to court.
Okay. So thinking about this, I mean, the few times I've done writing, TTRPG writing for contract, like, my name gets on it as an author, but then it's their material.
Work for hire, right.
Mm-hmm. It was work for hire. So if Evil Genius Games, I mean, like, I would hope Evil Genius Games has something in writing from Netflix saying, yes, it's fine to show these images. Yes, it's fine because if that's where Netflix is saying breach of contract, right? I think the only way that or one of the more solid ways that Evil Genius Games could go is to go, no, right here, we had permission to do the thing that Netflix is saying breach of contract for.
Yeah,
right?
If it's emails or whatever.
Something. If they don't, I don't know what they're going to do.
Yeah, so the agreement, so Evil Genius, they paid Netflix for a license and then an agreement to share in the profits. So yeah, it doesn't sound, and so the and discussing the world Bible. So the missing background information vital to a story as a whole or to the world. They're claiming in the lawsuit, they're saying Evil Genius supplied all missing pieces, a cohesive backstory to the entire Rebel Moon franchise, which Netflix plans on using not only in games and other things, but also in further future cinematic material.
Just an aside here. What kind of a shit Zack Snyder movie is this going to be if someone else had to provide necessary backstory to there actually being a story?
Right. Yeah, there was maybe just not enough.
Ask me how I feel about Zack Snyder stuff. Anyway, sorry.
Right. Yes. So, they terminated on May 25th. They terminated the agreement with Evil Genius because of sharing the artwork at the trade show. But yeah, like I said, there were Netflix employees involved in this, so it's not like they didn't know.
Also, just if they signed the contract on March, April, and then it got voided on May.
Yeah, that was pretty.
How did you crank out like 1,000 pages in effectively a month?
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. Yeah, let me double check I got that right. Later on that month. Yeah. Netflix suddenly terminated in May. Yeah, that's very true. So I got to also wonder then about the quality of.
Well, okay, I didn't say that, right? I was thinking that. I didn't say that, right? But like, you sign the contract in March, it gets voided or breached in May, right? Even if you're doing like the beginning, you're realistically going to get started writing from like the middle of the month, right?
Yeah.
So you had maybe, and I'm being extremely generous here, 2 months. 2 months. And you cranked out 1,000 pages of stuff.
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
Well, we're forgetting about AI.
I didn't want to bring that up.
Right, but and even Matt's mentioning that. Yeah, Zack Snyder did praise the work. Like he saw the World Bible and did say that, hey, good job,
still
guys.
fucking in the Mariana Trench, my man. Right?
So it wasn't like they were expressing dissatisfaction and unhappiness with the quality of the work. they just suddenly wanted to grab it all and give them
maybe
$50,000.
I mean, I'm not putting that past Netflix. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, and I wonder. Yeah, so this is. I don't think Netflix has tried this before, and it seems like they're mishandling it, but they're trying to do like a big multimedia release of Rebel Moon. It's going to be video
on Zack Snyder. All right.
Video games and a tabletop game, and so. Yeah, they were really like pushing this to be something, and with this kind of fumble, and the fact that Evil Genius is suing means they're pretty confident they're not wasting their money. Yep. Yeah, I mean they'd be wasting their time dealing with Netflix, and so maybe this will just get settled out of court because it would. This is bad press to happen right before this release, and the movies themselves are going to be released pretty quick. One's coming out in December. I think the next one is April. It's like one. There's like a 2-part.
Speaking of cranking it out really fast, anyway.
Yes, right. Well, it's, he likes the green screen, so we'll see. We'll see how that goes, but. Yeah, this was really, and I don't know really who to root for. I hate that this is the danger of IP, licensed IP stuff, is they could just be scumbags, and Saul Zantz or whoever can just try to pull the plug on you at any time when you're trying to do something, and this is an example. So
yeah, I mean, like this is a bad example because I mean, Netflix is trying to say no, we're not going to pay you, right? Mm-hmm. But I mean, that is what it and. Okay, yeah, Evil Genius Games, based on that prior track record. Not that they have to know that this would have happened, but, like, that track record is all IP stuff, right? So they got to know, like, nope, okay, we bought this license.
Yeah.
We made this thing, and we don't really own it, right?
Right.
I don't know.
And they may really want this release because they want that profit sharing,
Well, definitely. I mean, how could they not? Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
Yeah, so we'll see. Yeah, we'll see. And it might be
good luck, Evil Genius Games.
It might be an out of court.
Honestly, so, yeah.
To get this quiet, they might want to get this quiet before the release on Netflix.
But like, really, how big is the TTRPG community? Right?
No, that's true. Yeah, I think the video game is going to get much more attention. So, and I don't think that's coming.
Maybe that's why Netflix thinks they can do it.
Oh yeah, right. Yeah, well, that's true. I mean, if they're looking at media, tabletop games and comic books, are going to get screwed when you're looking at the hierarchy of physical or of just entertainment media.
Yeah.
So, well, let's continue on. Let's move away from this ugliness to further, deeper ugliness.
Oh, geez,
our humanity's war against the machines continues, and Backerkit has now banned AI-generated content from its platform.
Thank you, Backerkit.
Yes, so taking a step further than Kickstarter. So Kickstarter said you can use
anything would be a farther step than Kickstarter.
Right. Kickstarter just said, just justify it. Just say something on the page.
Apparently don't even justify it. Just say you're using it if that Terraforming Mars is anything.
Yeah, right. So Backerkit will not allow AI-generated content. This includes, the high-profile board games and tabletop role-playing game projects on their platform. This announcement came last Monday, and very different from Kickstarter and how they just they let that Terraforming Mars thing go on. So from Backerkit, they're saying this policy emphasizes that projects on Backerkit cannot include content solely generated by AI tools. All content and assets must be created first by humans. So, and they're acknowledging, because it's gonna become really difficult to say no AI. You just have to say no unethical AI, no AI that's been trained on other on unethical data sets.
Right.
Because Photoshop now has all kinds of AI tools, all their healing and blending and background tools. That's all AI powered. So it's going to be impossible to remove the art from AI unless you're just going to have people doing acrylic acrylic board illustrations. So they
at least something.
Yes, and so San Francisco-based Backerkit. Another thing they said is at Backerkit, we're driven to ensure creators are fairly rewarded for their hard work and creativity. Due to concerns about AI tools and using content without proper compensation or permission, we'll continue to limit their use on our platform until there is a system that can guarantee fairness in sourcing, permission, and compensation. Okay. Yeah, I don't think we're going to see that anytime soon if Microsoft has anything to say about it. But that's great that they're supporting real artists, and they don't want stolen work basically to be sold and funded by them, and that's very different from the statement we talked about, the FryxGames CEO talking last week about and their statement, I guess kind of a summary of what they were saying on Facebook is using AI would save their family-owned company money and boost its profile compared to paying human artists to do work. So that's not a great position to take. No, think of the family,
except for you artists over there, right? You're not family, right?
Your families do not deserve compensation, but our family business needs to survive. Yeah. And, and then qualifying Western artists versus
that was
Asian
just bizarre.
artists.
That was
your family business. So we suspect of what family we're talking about here. And so, yes, in August, Kickstarter did add their mandatory AI disclosure. And that's about all they've done so far. And they won't limit or stop anything. They just say, justify, just like everything else, though, in Kickstarter. It's like, do your best, just good faith and, the honor system.
As long as we keep getting our cut.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. If we get our percent, you can sort it out later. So, another Backerkit statement: content on Backerkit that's solely AI generated or lacks a minimum requirement of human input may lead to projects being temporarily or permanently denied during the review process. So during a review, our trust and safety team will contact you to help provide verification for the content that it is within these guidelines. Violation of these policies after the project has been launched could result in removal, the project suspension, or project being removed.
Nice.
So that's good. Yeah, they're going to keep up on it. And yes, so they also said, as part of the policy, will automatically prevent content uploaded by creators to its platform from being used to train AI as well. So they're not going to let, they're going through all of this effort, and they're not going to let it just be, scraped and stuck in another data set. So that's good too. They're going even further, saying, and your stuff will be safe if you're going to use it to promote your projects on our platform. And this is a little bit different from the approach that Essen Spiel has taken. So they're getting continuing the AI on the AI train. They admit to using AI artwork to promote their event.
I saw this,
Yeah, so, but they claim that protection of artist rights has priority for us. I guess maybe that's a bad translation from German, but it has priority, but not,
it has priority. It's not top priority, right? And we're protecting the artist's rights by not using it.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. So, and this is mostly around their newly created mascot Meeps. Yeah. So, hashtag something Meeps, Save I guess. Meeps, yeah, we're free Meeps. Yes. So a statement from Essen Spiel: we are aware of this topic and will evaluate it in. This is so. I got to do this in a German accent.
We are aware. No, but this is like let's just corporate. We are aware of this topic.
Yes.
We take to do nothing about it.
Yeah, we take responsibility, and
we don't. We are aware that responsibility exists.
Yes, right. Somebody should take it, and we will evaluate in detail this after the show. Right now, please understand, we cannot answer your questions at this moment as we have a lot to do.
Well, you know what? A modicum of respect for maybe being honest.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right? Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Sorry, we can't deal with this now. We have a lot to do with the show. Right?
That's true. A little bit of honesty. That's pretty crazy. Yeah, so that was Murs Verlag speaking on behalf of the show. And regarding the question about Meeps and timing, I can tell you quickly that this is like, I can see this nervous. He's like adjusting his tie. And
now I'm imagining Rodney Dangerfield.
Yeah. Here come the Meeps questions. So I can tell you quickly that the marketing campaign containing AI artwork has been created, was created way before we had the idea to create a mascot. So the idea of Meeps had nothing to do with the marketing campaign and vice versa. So yes, they admitted this, and so yes, they. He said that they also want to understand the full capabilities of AI and the large language model algorithms, and the protection of artists is a priority. This was an outside partner agency that developed. I guess it was like weird family, like AI.
I think I saw a picture, and
families playing games together, and they liked that style, so they went with it. And they had hired Michael Menzel to create a yellow and orange striped kitten named Meeps that was going to be used as the mascot for the show, but he suddenly disappeared. and we got this weird AI generated.
Oh, Meeps disappeared.
Yes.
Not the other.
Right. Yeah. So they paid for a mascot and they didn't use it. So their tickets and their posters and promotional materials had a creepy AI generated family and their wonky malformed dice.
Yep. So like, okay, getting back a little bit to it, like, okay, the AI thing aside, a company or a corporation paying for assets does not mean they have to use it, right? Just like we bought this and we ultimately decided to do something else. Cool, you bought it, it's yours, right?
Yep.
I mean, yeah. So that part is whatever. But then, yeah, the AI thing is just
poor Meeps. Meeps got
euthanized.
Oh no. Yeah. So hopefully the return of Meeps. That's what everyone is hoping for. Yes. So it was good. It's good to see Backerkit take this stance. Yep. It's sad to see Essen just say, "Well, we know it's a bad thing to do, but we got schedules to keep."
I think this has been going on for a while, but I think it's going to be going into other areas, corporate, where it's like they're going to try and ask for forgiveness rather than not do it, right?
Yeah, right.
It's kind of like, let's see if we can slip it past people, right? They're just going to go, you caught us. Well, we're sorry.
Right.
Come up with excuses to not do it. But yeah, they're going to, unless and until people call them out, they're going to, and I'm talking like general, companies are going to continue to try and do it.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's my feeling. Yeah.
Yeah. To save time and money and just kind of take advantage of this situation because there are no guidelines, there are no best practices or anything right now for AI.
Best practice is to just see what you can get away with, honestly.
Right. Yes, and Backerkit did go on to clarify that they won't disallow content refined with AI-assisted tools like Photoshop is full of, like generative content fills, object replacement, things like that, and other standard image adjustment tools, saturation, color, resolution, or AI tools that refine human-created text or with modifications to spelling, grammar, syntax. So they don't want to say absolutely nothing because I understand it's inescapable now. You can't. Most of our software now is so embedded, and they did offer. As far as alternatives to AI and the LLM algorithms, they provided a list of directories, databases containing art and assets created by humans, including the Directory of Illustrators, Cartoonists of Color database, the Queer Cartoonist database, Disabled Cartoonist database, and Women Who Draw. And it clarifies that they will automatically exclude all content uploaded by our creators for projects from AI training. So they give you, take a look. There's these huge group lists of illustrators you can use for your projects. You don't need to pay Midjourney anything. Yep. Yes. So a little bit of positivity, and I think the court case is moving forward with Sarah Silverman and some of the writers that had their books taken. That's moving forward as well. So we'll see. It doesn't sound like I don't know. The judge doesn't sound very sympathetic, but we'll update you as we hear more and there's more. Hopefully, we'll get some precedent that we can base this stuff off. And start to staunch the flow of AI garbage.
Butlerian jihad now.
Right.
That's what
yes, definitely. So it's not good. Moving on, this is something we kind of talked about before. There was a YouTuber that was like, "Ew, World War II, problematic." And
was that me?
It might have been. And so we're seeing this, and so Osprey Games is very very well established for historical military settings, and they have a popular board game named Undaunted, and they're moving away from the World War II setting. They've kind of done.
Well, are they moving
everything.
Away, or this
is the first? Yeah, this is the first step. So they're taking this they're taking this into space. They're taking it into the far future. So they've kind of done everything they pretty much can. I mean, the big events of World War II with the game already. So. It makes sense, but I'm just a little bit afraid that game companies are starting to say, well, maybe we should step away from...
You think so?
I hope not. And definitely not Osprey. That would be
definitely not Osprey, because, like, I saw this too, and I forget the name of the thing. It's like, I want to say like Callisto or something that, right? Is it called Undaunted Callisto?
Yes, Undaunted 2200 Callisto.
Right. Well, like, when I saw the news and I saw this, and I'm like, okay, as someone who feels weird about playing games based on World War II, right? And kind of, until I lost all motivation, I was looking at like historical war games and stuff like that, and I said, for me personally, the farther something gets from actual, the farther we get from modern day, the more I would be inclined to play it. So like ancient, right? Like I'm like, okay, cool. We get up to like Napoleonic era, I'm like, getting a little bit too close. World War II, like, okay. also as someone who is really interested in card and token-based war games, I've looked at Undaunted any number of times and said, I really wonder how they make this work. I cannot get myself to purchase a game where someone has to play World War II Germans. Right? Like, I'm not going to do it. So when something was like Undaunted science fiction, I'm like, now I'm actually going to finally buy this, right? Like, I want to see how the mechanics work. I want to see how they do this. And fantasying it up or sci-fiing it up, cool. I'll go for it.
Cool. Yeah, so you're right. Undaunted 2200 Callisto. So they've already, previously, there have been 4 Undaunted games. The first one was Normandy. Second one was North Africa, Battle of Britain, and I believe there was one more because there were 4. But each one of them added certain mechanics. So North Africa added vehicles. Stalingrad, the latest release added a full legacy campaign.
Okay.
So each one of them have kind of updated.
I'm not a fan of sticking stickers on my board game. Anyway, okay.
Right. So Callisto, Jupiter's moon the setting is a mining colony. So the mining collective at the base is battling the strike-breaking mercenaries, and so there will be mechs involved, probably on both sides.
I'm now like, ooh, the strike. So that means one side has to play strike-breaking, scabbing mercenaries.
Yes, right.
Maybe I won't get this.
But they're sympathetic, they make really good hamburgers.
I guess so. Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know.
So anyway. Yes, industrial mining vehicles repurposed for combat. So that's a cool deal. So the rules will be written by David Thomas and Trevor Benjamin, and illustrations by Roland McDonald. And they're also the game will be playable as 2, 4-player, or solo. And the barren lunar landscape to seize and dominate high ground positions in the game. Yeah, and so like you're saying, this is an interesting hybrid of a war game so it's a war board game with a deck building mechanic. Yep. So you use tokens on the map to represent things, but you're controlling everything with a deck of cards that through the course of the game you add and upgrade cards, and they also your deck gets filled with useless fog of war cards, which makes it harder to draw useful things. And there'll be expanding rules for new units and things over the course. So we'll see what
I don't know. Like, couldn't they have just done I don't know. I'm getting into setting stuff here, but Warhammer 40,000. Everyone sucks.
Yep.
Right. Except the Tyranids, which are amoral. Right.
Maybe these miners are real bastards.
Maybe. Right. I don't know. For me personally, you get too close to kind of hot button real world issues, and I'm like, right? I don't know. And that's not me saying don't play the game. That's not me saying don't enjoy your World War II stuff. That's saying me personally, because a couple times back on X when I've said I'm moving away I just can't do World War II. What's wrong with it? I didn't say for everybody else. I said for me, right?
But what Chris does,
exactly.
Follows.
I'm like, at no point did I say don't play these. I said I'm not going to, right? Anyway.
Yes. Well, if Chris isn't playing, we can't. There's no way.
Because that's what it is. Yeah, because I rule the world. Yeah.
Yeah. So you can just maybe repurpose the strike breakers as a competing mining company.
I could, and you know what? That would have been more appealing to me, right? Strike breakers. No, just make it just corporate espionage, right? That kind of warfare. Anyway,
Yes, so coming
hire me, Osprey.
Yes, right. I'll fix that damn game. So this is due out in 2024. There's no solid release date yet, but so moving away from World War II, but maybe just as we've kind of done it all. I mean, once you get to Stalingrad,
that is the limitation of historical wargaming, right? There is only so much history, right? And okay, now I'm not an expert, but there's recorded history, and I'm sure there's any amount of history that did not get recorded, but the fact that it didn't get recorded, once you start going off into the weeds a bit, you're just it becomes historical fiction, right? And I'm sure there are those hardcore wargamers who no, we want the actual stuff. So with their with Osprey's Undaunted series, I don't know if they've run out of material, but eventually they will. Right. They could have gone World War I.
Oh yeah,
right.
Yeah.
They could have gone any other.
Right. That's true.
Era or stuff like that. Right.
Yeah, that's very true. They could have gone. anyway, but yeah. So, and I think for the look and things, I think that kind of a mining moon off Jupiter would be it's a cool visual setting. So yeah,
it is. But I mean, like, okay, thinking about the other miniatures game that's coming out, what is it? Trench Crusade. Right? Like that. I said it before. As long as Trench Crusade kind of doesn't go Germans, English, French, whatever, I'm like, I'll be down. Like, if you've got humans or the different weird factions, as long as they're kind of fantasy, like, sure, I'll play World War I inspired Trench Crusade when it's angelic stuff fighting demons, right? Cool, I'm all for that. If you, like, that's why the other Osprey game coming out, something about Doggerland. It's kind of, it's World War I era. Something's happened to the moon where it's like either fallen out of orbit or something, and this new continent has risen, and its factions playing across that. I'm like, that sounds weird. That sounds cool. I kind of went and I'm like, we still got like French, German, British. I'm like, kind of. Anyway,
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, interesting. So yeah, and we'll see if this is a trend, because Osprey's done a lot of fantasy and sci-fi stuff. So we'll see how it goes. And there are the historical wargamers. I mean, there are younger generations of them, but they are kind of aging out, like the traditional, like the kids of the baby boomers that were big fans.
Well, it kind of seems like, I don't know, my impression of historical wargamers are old people, right? So it kind of seems like you do your 40K, you do your rest, and then you kind of age into historical wargaming. And like I've said before any number of times, I see the appeal of kind of the historical limitations of this is what the unit was actually composed of. It's this many things in a company, and this is this uniform, and that's whatever. So I understand the appeal, but I don't know why it kind of appeals to old people. I don't know.
That reminiscing, yes, a simpler time when we just hated some Nazis.
Not enough, apparently.
And instead of bringing them in front of Canadian Parliament, we just shot at them. Anyhow, well, let's take a step back into history. This is kind of funny. Well, this is current, but it kind of reminds us of something of D&D's past. So Penguin Random House will stop distributing D&D. And so this isn't going to be a big impact on local game stores or really anything. It's just going to be, the big retail sources that Penguin Random House supplied. So it may affect things like Walmart and Target and those kind of big box stores. So D&D may be less visible, but they aren't going to be interested in selling physical books much longer, so this is probably not a problem. And this is kind of old news. They had made this announcement back in September, but a memo went out from Penguin Random House. They will no longer distribute D&D starting 2024. So 50 years is enough. I guess it wasn't the whole 50 years, but the memo went on to say, effective December 31st, 2023, Penguin Random House LLC will cease distributing titles of Wizards of the Coast LLC. Depending on the product, please ensure that the vendor of records for Wizards of the Coast titles is changed to one of their new distributors. And here is the list. So they still are being distributed by Alliance, Diamond, and GTS, and then abroad, Asmodee in UK and Europe. But it may, one of those bigger distributors, I guess Asmodee has us covered, so Japan will still be getting...
Right, because I buy a lot of D&D books, yeah.
So this will basically just affect the general book trade, whoever was receiving from a general book trade publisher, and may not have a huge effect, but it may also be a sign of them kind of moving away.
I think it's a sign of them moving away from physical books.
Yeah, and just saying, it's not. We don't need all of these distributors. We'll narrow down the list. But it's funny that this is Random House, because historically that's how TSR got into trouble. They made this wacky ass deal with Random House back in the day in the 80s, where they said, you pay us up front and we'll send you the books, and if whatever you don't sell, go ahead and send back to us. And that's where the insane debt and everything before they got sold off or before they got acquired happened, is because they had this crazy deal with Random House, and Random House started saying, we've got warehouses full of your books, we're done with this.
Here they are back.
Yeah, we're sending them back to you, now pay us. And so it's funny.
With what money?
It's funny that this is, but that was such a crazy way to structure their business. I mean, I guess in the short term, served them very well because as soon as they produced something, they had the money up front.
Right.
It's finished, pay us, So they didn't have to worry.
And then we'll use that to make something else.
Yeah, they didn't have to worry about sales, but that eventually caught up with them, and that's why they're owned by Wizards of the Coast. Yeah, that eventually degraded into Hasbro, the situation that we have today. But so that's it for the big Random House distribution. So that's a long weird history of Random House and Dungeons and Dragons coming to an end. Let's close that chapter.
Maybe it'll open again in the future.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Maybe
when they get sold out.
Maybe Hasbro will go, you know what, moving to digital only. Bad idea.
Yeah, that didn't do well. We'll see what they end up. God, I can't believe we got the 50th anniversary of all this nightmare coming up next year, just a few months away. Let's end on a positive note. There's a little bit of sadness in this, but a positive note overall. So Art by Noor is on Kickstarter. I think it's in its final week, and it is a coffee table book, art book of the collected work of Morkbjorg's Johan Noor. Nice. So the page is super friendly, and like you really get to know the artist if you're not familiar with him, if you've just seen his work on the Morkbjorg and a lot of the supporting works and a lot of the Stockholm Cartel stuff. So it says, "Hi, I'm Johan Noor, a visual artist, graphic designer, and role-playing game enthusiast from the cold dark of Sweden." And this was great. He did a little bit of his history because he basically said, "I got associated with Pelle Nielsen's pitch black heavy metal tabletop role-playing game Mjorkborg, and did a ton of illustrations. And everyone that was doing supporting work asked him to do covers and stuff." So he said, looking back, it's actually wild how much I've drawn since I think 2019. So just since 2019, he's been insanely busy. So every piece of work that he's drawn since the release of Morkborg 2019, and a few pieces included that were earlier. So Backerkit and Mutant is also involved. He did some early stuff for those. And the thing that he said that's interesting is it's all done on the smaller kind of small format of A5 or whatever the small.
Oh, that is small. A5. Okay.
Yeah. That smaller, is it B4? I don't know, the small format of those Morkborg books. And he said everything he drew was on a much larger scale. So he wanted to do a coffee table book that actually showed off the detail of these larger pieces that he did. So this coffee table book will include behind the scenes stuff, sketches, refused versions from freelance pieces, scrapped ideas, and art for projects that never got anywhere. So the interesting thing at the end said, "Oh, hey, and another thing that's pretty significant to the publishing of this book, I'm quitting my day job and switching over to doing this, drawing skulls and making role-playing games full time."
Oh, nice.
So by the time this campaign
that's the dream,
launches,
isn't it?
Yes. So it's very symbolic in a way and pretty neat. Yeah.
Who doesn't want to draw skulls and make role-playing games as a full-time job?
Yes, exactly. So the format of the book will be 270 by 340 millimeters, which is about basically 10.5 by 13.5 inch coffee table book. Yeah, it's a nice big one. So some pieces have only been printed at A5, so now you'll see the big full detail. It'll be about 232 pages plus covers. And because of the unique way that a lot of this art was published, he's going to go with an 8-color printing process. Wow. So that's CMYK plus 4 spot colors. And the book will be bound in cloth, gold foil, silkscreen details, and stickers, everything to
Now I really want to know what the 4 spot colors are.
Yes.
Because as someone who did the printing, printing stuff before coming to Japan, I'm interested in
it's got to be that yellow, that more.
Oh, yeah, okay, that bright yellow. Yep.
Right. So, he says he's a print geek and loves this stuff, so he wants to make this book really reflect and also how creative that RPG is, and so the other cool thing, which unfortunately, so this is the sad part, he was going to do 200 special copies that were going to be signed copies and include a fine art print, and basically said, "I'm going to go ham on your book with markers and pens and a bunch of stickers and do crazy things."
Overselling it.
But unfortunately not available anymore.
Right,
so very quickly those 200. Those 200 copies.
Imagine.
But yes, and you can also contact him. If you're one of those lucky 200, contact him on the page and ask for something specific, a specific kind of art that you would like. Otherwise, he will just defile your book randomly. So that sounds really fun. The book itself will go to retail on probably Free League, or there'll be a web store where it will be available. But you should support this artist directly. now, because he'll just once it's at retail, he's going to get a cut of it. Now he's going to get all the support,
except that cut that Kickstarter gets.
Well, yeah, except the Kickstarter cut. Yeah, says, but so this is a more direct way to support the artist and his art, and I'm so happy to hear that this is becoming full-time work, because his work is just, there's so many games, like Into the Odd, there's just so many different games that he was doing work for, and it's great to see not only this work collected, but that this is becoming his career. Nice. So yeah, very, very happy to see that, and this is a good celebration. It's a nice timing and a good celebration of all the work he's done, and I can't believe it's only been like heavy duty since 2019. Yeah, that's crazy, and it was enough to make a coffee table book. I would still have trouble filling a coffee table book with my tiny little illustrations.
If you blew them up to like,
yeah, right. Yeah. But so excellent. So take a look at that. I'll put a link to Art by Noor, and keep an eye out during this last week, because some people get enthusiastic. As I think it's about $180 for the limited edition one. Yep. So it's significant, and so people do drop out. They're like, oh, I definitely want this. Oh man, I'm not going to be able.
Oh, can't afford it. Yep. Yeah.
So there may be some dropouts. So keep an eye out for that, just in case. I may do the same. I can't say whether or not, but that's always an option with the limited. They close pretty early, but sometimes people just say, what was I thinking? I can't afford this.
I gotta eat.
Yeah, right. I'm so hungry. All right, but so take a look at that project. So that'll do it for this week.
Yeah, and I actually got to bounce real fast.
Oh, okay. So where can people find you?
On almost at X. That's not it. I'm done using that site. Blue Sky, there you go. Blue Sky, Instagram, and maybe possibly kind of Threads. It's Hivemind, HYVEMYND, where I'm still slowly trickling out little pixel art dungeons of various color palettes, and not sure what to do.
Oh yeah, I saw you did a digital mock-up of if
this
was a
book. Yeah. I thought it looked pretty good. Now I just got to come up with other stuff.
Take a look at Lulu, or there's a couple of print-on-demand.
Mix'em I've requested paper samples from Mix'em like 3 times, and they just don't send them.
No, not to you.
Not to me. Apparently not. Anyway.
If you spelled Hivemind with I's, maybe.
Maybe. I don't know. It's not my address. Anyway. But that's where you can find me. And I gotta bounce.
Okay.
Back
if you need to go ahead. I can do all the rambling.
Okay.
So thank you, Chris. It was good to see you, and we'll do this again next week.
Yeah. Bye, everybody. Later, mortals.
All right, and I'm still. I'm still doing my single panel gag cartoon. So Abuse Cartoons on YouTube and Twitch, and Abuse Cartoons on social media. And I basically just draw my single panel gag cartoon, 2 of those every week, and eat some Japanese snacks. And those purple sweet potato chocolates are terrible, so avoid them at all costs. Marshmallows were the worst. They were like veggie, like some kind of like veggie based marshmallows. So
proper with horse hooves.
Yes, exactly. We need our boiled down hooves. But and if you'd like to support what we're doing on the weekly, and say goodbye to Chris. See you, Chris. We will. You can go to upturntable.com, and that's where we have everything, our actual plays, this weekly, and other stuff that we've been doing, unboxings, lore videos, all that good stuff. And if you'd like to support what we're doing and become a weakling, the strongest of all supporters, visit patreon.com/upturntable, and you can support us there. And that's where the audio for this entire live stream will go on the RSS feed. And they've also just changed Patreon, so now there's a big community chat thing. So I think it's going to be much more interactive, because basically it was only direct messages and comments before. So now we can have an active community chat going. So find out what everyone is up to. So thank you for joining us. We'll do the same thing next week, and Upturned Table on all social media. So thanks for listening to or watching the weekly, and we'll see you next time. Goodbye. Well, I just realized probably and we're live and all right has happened like 200 times. You could just do a supercut of and we're live. Oh, wait, this is the silent part. All right, yeah. Chris leaving early has me all confused. All right, so yeah, there is many times of me saying that exact same word. We should go back and put those all together. You can listen to 10 minutes of all right. So let's take a look. So good to see you, Matt, in the chat, and Miguel. Nice. Yeah, I need the avatar, the AI Chris to pop up. Very cool. Yeah, so thanks, Melwinius. I'm sure Jackson appreciates the support. Yeah, we were talking. So yeah, and we started a little bit late. Sorry, Chris and I got talking before the cast. Yes. Right, yes, Cronenberg. Star Trek incoming. Yes, so tomorrow we'll do the second part of Plato's Cave. Part 2. Yeah, I think pretty much with the time we can give it, it's every episode is going to be a two-parter, whether it deserves it or not. It'll be a two-parter just because of how they're paced. Because it's always 3 acts. The structure of the adventure collections for Star Trek, it's 3 acts and 2 scenes, 2 possibly 3 scenes per act, and because they want to give you an indication of when things move to certain, because you lose momentum when locations change and momentum stops. All right. Matt is always looking for an excuse to fly the shuttle. That's right. Oh, that's right. You've got a small craft focus. Nice. Oh, 6 a.m. in Europe. Oh, well, thank you so much. Yeah, I'm glad you could catch just the end. Very good. Nice. So supposedly, that's right. So talking about the Rebel Moon, the evil genius Rebel Moon Netflix lawsuit, Zack Snyder did praise the work that they did, so maybe he would support them. But but he also there was so we'll see once they Netflix stops him. If you want your movies to get released, you will stop talking about that game. So West End Games made a world Bible for Star Wars in the 90s, and it got all kinds of media. Yeah, I think it would be a nice supporting book. Even people that weren't going to play the game, they would probably enjoy filled in background. But I don't know if I trust Evil Genius to fill in an interesting way. I mean, maybe Zack Snyder doesn't have any great ideas for the gaps in the kind of holes in the setting, but I don't know if I would completely trust Evil Genius to do that. Who knows? And yes, in the Essen Spiel gamer game show excuses. Yes, we used AI. We don't have time to talk about it, but what are you gonna do? Nice. Oh yeah. Yes, U.S. politics and all of the the party of unions has turned against unions and has basically strike busted the railways, the rail union in the U.S. and they're just not supporting much of anything. I can't believe how similar the two political parties in America are, but people still defend the position so strongly. They're it's very funny. Okay, I heard good things about Undaunted. Yeah, I'm curious as well. I'd love to play, especially if they did a legacy style Stalingrad. That'd be brutal. You got to play the bad guys sometimes, Chris. Or you can just introduce them in Canadian Parliament and applaud them. once you don't quite make the connection historically to what this guy's talking about. The little general type of historical war gamers were old when I was a kid, so they must be dead now. Yeah, that's true. But yeah, I've seen though, like on YouTube, I've seen that kind of generational thing. Like a grandfather would get his like grandson into historical war gaming. So I've seen that, but it's definitely going to change, and tastes are going to change, and proximity, like no surviving veterans of certain wars and things are going to change people's views on stuff. But yeah, that's true, Matt. They were old when we were kids, so how are they still around? Nice. Yes, right. So yes. Miguel saying, I find it hilarious that people that fought in World War II didn't have issues with painting model planes. Yeah. With Nazi markings on them, right, or playing Germans in the war. Yeah, the people that actually fought against them. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it's very very funny, and also because I had a grandfather that fought in Europe and a grandfather that fought in the Pacific, and their prejudices and views and stuff were very interesting. My grandfather in Europe didn't have any kind of Asian prejudices. In fact, there was respect for that Asian, that all I think all Japanese American battalion, and how successful they were, but my grandfather that fought in the Pacific, of course, had very different opinions of Asians. So yeah, that was it's very interesting, the propaganda and like what you have to believe to do that job. So that was very, very interesting difference. Yes, but now we have a generation. So Miguel is saying now we have a generation that didn't even get to hear about war from their dads or grandfathers. Yeah. Right, and. So when an FW190 is posted on Instagram with swastikas, they clutch their pearls and freak out. Yeah, that's true. It's very different tolerances now, and I think also media has kind of created that just because all of their exposure is just from media. Oh, Matt's talking about Designers and Dragons, the 90s volume. Wizards had a very substantial profit-sharing program for its employees. Oh, wow, until Hasbro bought them and ended it. Wow, that's depressing. I think that tells you all you need to know about WotC. Yeah, the only thing that I think that was Slaying the Dragon, I think they talked about that. The only thing that I respect about WotC taking over is they went into that storage room with all the original art for the artists, and they just gave it all back to the artists that had created it. It was just sitting there. Sitting there in storage, and they gave the originals. They gave all the original artwork back to the artists that did it. That was a cool move, but yeah, I don't think they've done since then, and since Hasbro's really, and since they became so profitable. I think things have been changing. Yeah, it's a good point. And Matt said, we got a new game store in town. They're running a weekly Merkborg. Oh wow, that's pretty awesome. Yes, I agree. I'm talking over my noise cancellation. Yeah, I came back all caffeinated and off rhythm because it wasn't the normal procedure. Chris already left, so I was all confused. Hopefully it'll work out, and we don't have the air conditioning on, so there'll be less to remove. Hopefully this sounds a little cleaner online than it usually does. All right, so I wish I could scroll the scroll the chat on the stream. That would be nice. Yes. Yes, so Miguel saying it's more along the lines of making everything political. Yeah, so if you like Lovecraft. Lovecraft? I don't know who you're talking about. I have to be a racist. Well, this t-shirt is making me great. Thanks, Miguel. God damn, now I'm canceled on the stream for my t-shirt. Yeah, that's that's true. Yeah, that's something that Chris and I will always debate, because Chris's position is everything is political, but okay, but can we take a break? Does everything have to be about pushing your opinion? Of course, if you're going to say everything's political, that's fine, but does it have to be about defending your position and pushing your opinion and converting other people? Hey Abyss, how's it going? Good morning. Nice. Yes, and so Miguel goes on to say, so if you want your plastic model of the Bismarck with the real flags, it means you support Hitler. Yes. Well, okay, yeah, that's how simplified everything has gotten. But unless you can say they fought the Russians, who are the new big bad, so we can minimize that. We can adopt some some symbols and some acceptable patches on certain battalions, gear. It's fine. Yeah, you can separate real world politics from books and games. Yes. Oh, Matt saying, yeah, my grandfather. Oh yeah, I totally missed the stream. So my grandfather was in the Hornet when it was sunk. Oh wow. Hard to tell you straight up all the awful things they'd say about Japanese, but yeah, he was past it. Yeah, and that was my grandfather in the Pacific said the same sort of things, like the horrible things that he saw, GIs do to just like local residents of islands and stuff. A lot of like really hateful, and violent behavior. And cancel after devil. Now Miguel has already started the new hashtag. Oh man. Yes. Yeah. Abyss is saying, yeah, everything is political. Yeah, and it's fine, but I think that's the big thing is people with or the thing we should try to achieve is being able to come to a gaming table or being able to just have dinner with somebody with severely opposite political views and find common ground and just enjoy your common humanity and not have it based on, because I think a lot of especially in the US, a lot of the political kind of culture war political fighting is just kind of a distraction tactic to keep people from not paying attention to what the party that they're supporting or the groups they're supporting are actually doing, and just to but what about those guys over there? Go get them. And that's not very helpful. But yeah, so hopefully this live stream will stand as a Chris and I aren't polar opposites by any means. We're both art school kids, but I think just having difference of opinion shouldn't create personal, be so disruptive in your social life. But it has become a thing where and I think maybe social media and stuff has required that because of the tone and everything. People in their personal life want to talk like they do on Twitter and be inciting people with memes in their real life. I don't know. Is it? Oh, yeah. Maybe it is. Yeah, I love this. There were a couple of really good. The one was it T Fury used to do some really good illustration stuff. Now it's all kind of cheesy, memey pop culture stuff. But they had some nice Lovecraft and some cool stuff for a while. And maybe maybe from pressure. I haven't seen a Lovecraft shirt on their site for a long time, so maybe they got pressured. It's apocryphal. Matt's trying to cancel me. I got both Matt and Miguel canceling. Yes. Oh yeah. Miguel saying, yeah, Chris is a very intense person in streams. Yes, and in real life, like off stream, we talk, parenting and stuff. Yeah, it's and I think just I think issues that come up in the hobby, I think Chris is in the tabletop hobby. Chris is very passionate about. If everything is political, then brace for impact. And Abyss says Star Wars and Star Trek were always both affected by the current thing, but the difference is that they were handled properly today. They do not understand. Yeah, I think there was just some kind of weird shift that a lot of people are like, we have to use entertainment to bring about social change. And the corporate part of that said, yes, as in the demographic change that we know is coming, go for it. And so that's why we've had this, all of this weird out of touch stuff. Yeah, although when certain people say that everything is political, it's always through the lens of who does it. Yeah. That's true, Miguel. Matt says yes, but political almost doesn't mean anything anymore. Right. It's more like sports teams. Yeah, that's true, because I think a lot of people that are saying they're on opposite sides of things have very common views, but they've just taken position. They just have certain certain figures, let's say, that they're that they're supporting and naming, and it doesn't have anything to do with their political thoughts or beliefs, because most people are complicated and kind of messy in their political views. It's not very easy to put them on one side. Yes, classic Star Trek was very political, but in a way we have to. In improv, to improv way. So, perfect example. So Matt's saying, say you like candy corn in the U.S. and it's on the same level of a political statement. Yes, but do you realize what goes into candy corn and the workers that are? Yeah, that's true. And it's just become, I think, because of how people are being kind of trained on social media to attack and dogpile and create, just generate attention for themselves. It's just a whole generation of attention-seeking people now. Oh, there we go. Okay, so am I caught up with the chat yet? Not yet. New Trek is horrible, and I'm glad it's dying off. Yeah, everything is so similar, though. It's like all the writers for everything now, like every newer property, have the exact same odd approach. It's suspicious, because it feels like it's so formulaic and so strange that it could be AI generated. We don't know. Yeah, I mean, it could be not of human creation. Yes, the mental gymnastics. Yes, some people do to justify. I'm a woman hating person because I think Rose Tico is a mindless character. Yes. And the pretty sister died. I'm going to say it right now. Yes. And let's not get into Ray Palpatine. Yeah, we'll just wait for the movie. I can't wait for the movie. Matt is digging Strange New Worlds. Yeah, I can't. I haven't seen it yet. At least newer episodes aren't available yet, unless I sign up for Paramount Plus with a VPN. But yeah, and I just saw, so I guess Disney, so the things that go on Hulu, American Hulu, the original programming and stuff this doesn't make any sense, but comes over to Disney Plus in Japan, because I guess of the Fox connection, maybe. And the City Primeval, the Justified kind of sequel series, or not really, but that little miniseries now just showed up on Disney Plus. So I have no idea where to find anything. It's just chaos. And they were even talking about what was the example? But yeah, so different studios take over, like international distribution versus domestic. So it's always going to be messed up with streaming. You're never going to get a good way to find it. This is saying Japanese do have a special talent when telling war stories, where you forget about the war because the movie is so compelling. Oh yeah, I think especially in anime, they could make any side, any person kind of very compelling, just because they love storytelling. Woman hater. Ahsoka is finally over. Abyss had to say it. Yes, the finale. I heard someone say, and this kind of makes sense now, that the reason that it's so badly paced and they do that weird dialogue thing is it's another one of those weird kind of Japanese movie appropriations. So of course the costuming and the swords and even like a lot of the bandit costumes and stuff in Ahsoka, it's all stolen from Japanese like Edo period samurai movies, like Kurosawa movies. And but they also, so maybe Filoni is also saying, well, I'm going to make this feel very Asian, because the pacing of dialogue is very slow and contemplative in Kurosawa movies and things that they don't have, unless it's trying to be funny, or unless there's anger and passion, which there wasn't much of any in Ahsoka. It's very slow, the dialogue, and it's also because it's the 50s and 60s movie making. But I think that's another weird mistake, is they're trying to take the weird exoticism and weirdness of Japanese cinema of the 60s and bring it into sci-fi, or I guess space opera, space fantasy. So someone said that may be a cause of that weird slow dialogue, as they're trying to make it seem even more I don't know, foreign, more Japanese. But like Japanese is not like it was maybe in the 1970s. It was a weird exotic place, but now especially Japanese pop culture is part of American culture. I mean, you see things in the US, you can see anime releases and things, even stuff on Japanese TV the day after it's broadcast in Japan. So it's not like Japan is this mysterious, weird place anymore. It's basically part of the global pop culture. So yeah, it's very weird. So supposedly Disney is shopping a lot of their subordinate companies around. Oh yeah, right. Yeah, getting rid of all their TV, whatever it's like live TV, or selling off their TV properties. What was the other thing? Oh yeah, that was interesting too. Hasbro, who bought Kenner, had no interest in merchandising Ahsoka. They just said, after Kenobi, there's just like they're not seeing much interest in these, which is a really stupid thing, because they're losing out on the biggest part of Star Wars. The merchandising was huge for Star Wars, and if that's dying, then it is going to be a dead property. Matt saying, I have heard a separate team that puts together the main action scenes and the story, and the writers have to write things to connect them instead of the other way around. If that's true, that's really bad. Yeah, I heard that about directors in Marvel movies as well. Is they basically tell the director, we have all these scenes completed, or we've rendered all this CG, we filmed all these action scenes, you do the other stuff, don't worry about this, it's already, and so write a story, so this has to happen, and this has to happen, and this has to happen, and just kind of write the story. I think it's just the way of modern production. It sounds really, really bad. Imagine trying to imitate Abyss saying, imagine trying to imitate a Kurosawa film when you're making the most by numbers TV pop culture show. Yeah, right. Very insulting. Yeah, right. Sell the minor character figures again. Popular culture, yeah. Right. Yeah, Funko Pops. That's I can't believe. Yeah, I hope that just goes away. I can't believe how many people you don't see the wall of Funko Pops behind us when we're doing the stream. How many people doing pop culture criticism or movie reviews or whatever? You look behind them and there's just this wall of Funko Pops. Yikes. Production run after production run of toys that nobody wants except the richest whales will buy. Yeah, thinking that they're going to have some value. And when things are produced in the millions, they will never have any value, because there will always be tens of thousands of them around. Oh, weird. There we go. Okay, yeah. Oh, Matt's going to buy 12 crafts and dress them in peasant clothes. Yeah, the best part of the whole damn show. Yeah, right. Those little, did they... I'm sure they have on the wiki, on Wikipedia or whatever, I'm sure they have a name, but I wonder what the species name of those little guys is. They'd be cool in an RPG. Just floomp, you have your defensive position. Abyss says, I miss the old days, old toys, that shot off pieces and had dynamic uses. Had to take away the fun stuff because of all the choking hazards. That's right, all the missiles on the Colonial Vipers and the Cylon Raiders and stuff, and Boba Fett's rocket pack. All the stupid kids swallowing plastic. I remember having to safety up stuff. Yeah, that's funny. And now that was the weird thing when they did the toys for the prequel series. They did that weird talking chip thing. So all the toys came with like a little kind of some kind of chip that had digital audio recorded on it, and there was a thing that you played it on. So they didn't even want the kids to like make up their own stories with the Star Wars figures. They just wanted them to play recorded samples from the movies. that was odd. That was a really, I guess it's just a way to get people to buy more of them, or whatever. Had some added value to just the figures. But I remember that first release, I was like, that's weird. They must think this new generation of kids is creatively bankrupt, has no imagination. Yeah. So Matt's saying on the subtitles, that spoke naughty. Yeah, those naughty crab people. Right. Yeah. So so I wonder. So the only purpose of the Ahsoka series was just to explain why you don't see those characters from Rebels, except for Ezra. He's going to be there, but why you don't see those characters from Rebels in like the main continuity? I don't know. Yeah, that's very weird. Very weird. Funko Pop's a new line will be a 40K line. Yeah, just Primaris. Just Primaris LTs. Yes. Yeah, I think they have done Warhammer Funko Pops. They've done everything Funko Pops. That's so depressing. Abyss is saying, my favorite movies were the Alien, Predator, and Friday the 13th movies. Yeah, and we always had toys from them. Yeah, I love that. I think that was an early 90s thing, too, where rated R films would get toy lines. Like you'd have Aliens and RoboCop, and there was so many toy lines created for things that kids weren't allowed to see. But, the video release, onto cable and into the video rental shop, I think maybe, helped that, because parents wanted to rent those movies and kids ended up seeing them, even if they didn't see them in the theaters. Yes. Old days were definitely wild. No seatbelts and a lot more smoking. So many pictures of in Matt maybe you can relate to this in our generation. So many pictures of people pushing their kids on swings or holding babies with a cigarette dangling out of their mouth, like they can't stop smoking for a second and even touch a baby. So every photograph of an infant also has a cigarette somehow involved. They meant saying everything Filoni and Abrams have done has diluted the importance of Luke, and the fact that he was supposed to be the last Jedi originally is a joke now, right? Yes, he's the last Jedi anybody cares about in the writer's room. Yeah, it's weird that weird Last Jedi image of Luke, the scraggly hermit Luke. That's so weird and depressing that's going to be our last. Yeah, well, except for the de-aged CG version of him in season 2 of The Mandalorian. that version we can remember always. Oh, Miguel saying I heard Favreau's out of Star Wars. I can imagine. It's got to be so frustrating. And that was when I was listening to I can't, blanking on everything. I was listening to Godfather commentary and Goodfellas commentary and stuff, and then when they were talking about the 70s kind of auteur thing and how the studios got really frustrated with how powerful the big name directors were getting and how they were demanding how they could demand bigger budgets and bigger salaries and bigger payments and things, and that the kind of siege, like what happened towards the late 80s, early 90s, is the takeover of the middle management. And I think like every entertainment business is now just infected with that. And Disney is just like, rancid with people that can step in and change anything at any time, and people that are on set with, taking notes and reporting back to Kathleen Kennedy or whoever. Like there's so much of that just diluting any sort of creativity, not letting people make mistakes or anything. Yeah, smoking, drinking, and eating toxic candy. Yes, Abyss. Those days. I miss those days as well. Yeah, now kids are getting Ritalin, and yeah, you're right. Now kids are being diagnosed. And instead of just being the weird kid or the kid that can't stay in your seat anymore, you're the kid on Ritalin. You're the ADHD. And school's teaching DARE. Right. Oh man, yeah, that was such the issue in the 80s is drunk driving deaths. And drug and anti-drug stuff. Yeah. Ritalin was a little after us. Yeah. We just got contact eyes from the adults. Yeah. I just don't remember a lot of anybody being prescribed anything. It was just just teachers had to find out a way to deal with these various behavior problems in the class. Yes. Matt can't let Star Wars go. So yeah, they got you, but yeah, we are here to help you let go. Yes, Matt has to let go of Star Trek and Star Wars. Yeah, it's brutal, and if it felt like they were actually trying to create something new for a new generation of fans, but it doesn't even feel like that. It just, because they keep retreading, like they keep doing the weird fan service and stuff. So yeah, it's very weird. Dare is now being criticized for using kids to arrest parents on DUI and drug use charges. No way. Oh, that's funny. Star Wars is not in the room and can't hurt you. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what. It doesn't look like any of the upcoming projects. I was interested in what they were going to try to do with Ahsoka, but it wasn't great. I think Matt and I were talking about a lot of missed opportunities. There was a lot of like zombie stormtroopers. That's a great idea, but they couldn't like get it consistent. And I think this like maybe production problems where they're just shooting stuff, and they couldn't get continuity with how the actors in the suits were doing things, and so you had a little shambling and not, and yeah, it's just weird. Like there were some neat ideas that just so poorly executed, and it just doesn't even matter. And pretending that Star Wars now has this continuity is silly, because it's such a mess. I don't know why that was a really weird choice by Disney to say, because it already was a mess from all the expanded universe stuff, and they weren't going to be able to sort it out. So just trying to delete it and then say from now on, comic books and novels and video games and TV and movies are all going to be in continuity. That's impossible, just because of the nature of the production of all that different media. And there's always a hierarchy, and it's never going to, just because of the amount of money involved, feature motion pictures are never going to kowtow to, yeah, but the comic book said. They're never going to care about that. Will Palpatine be the hidden boss of Ahsoka? Oh, yeah. It felt weird at the end of that, like they were setting up some, alternate, like on this planet, I forget the name of whatever that planet was, but on this planet there will be some weird fantasy epic that's going to, because they had so many weird, like, kind of Lord of the Rings looking references and stuff, and they just touched on, okay, so all these are the people, these are the players on this planet, and what's going to happen. So will they do some weird, like, pushed even into more fantasy? There'll be these kingdoms that arise led by the various people left there. It had a really weird tone. I was like, what are they? They're not setting up anything. They're just saying, and they're all stranded. Yeah, no one is ever really gone. That's true of us. Yeah, that's right. They're just on hold on some moon somewhere. I might say, I directed a short play with a fight scene, and we practiced harder and faster in rehearsal than what they put on that show. Yeah, right. Yeah, it looked like Ahsoka was like just parking cars in that last couple of episodes. She's just kind of like half-assed, like, and I guess they've got lightsabers now that are emitting, like have LEDs or whatever, so they get the light on their faces and stuff when they're ignited. And she's just like, it was really weird how low energy, and it just okay, I got to do this thing. It could have been just like pom poms or whatever for. And the pep squad, it was really weird. Rosario Dawson didn't seem to, she seemed to not care. Towards the end there was some really bad, really bad choreography. Yeah, still very, very short. I'm just saying, I'm shocked that they brought back Palpatine and thus are making the whole, Anakin journey irrelevant. And they're gonna, and the cloning thing, like they've got to start talking about that on these shows, because that's the thing, right? That's why, I don't know. Because they hinted at that with Grogu, right? That's the reason that they had to rescue the little Yoda guy, the little baby Yoda, is because they were going to clone him because he was a Force user. But everyone's a Force user now, even those peripheral weird Rebels characters. They're all Force users. So Matt's saying it's going to be the Force gods they had in the cartoons. Oh, yeah. Oof. That's what you get when the execs make the movie. Yikes. Yeah. Doesn't sound good. Okay, Miguel says, okay, I can admit the fantasy zombie planet, but how the hell do you put coordinates on a stupid planet? A knife. Yeah, that's right. It's just, but if I'm standing here, I hold it up and I can... Oh, yeah. But if I was over there, I'd have no idea where we're going. Yes. Yeah, did the Emperor travel in time? I think there was just... They did that. They introduced that in the comics. I think some of the Dark Horse comics that came after... Return of the Jedi, that the Emperor was cloned, so he shows up again, a clone of him, or you killed a clone. I don't remember the story, but Palpatine was cloned in the comics, and they kind of just ran with that. Yeah, I can't imagine they'll do a second season of Ahsoka, though. I don't know. I hope, like Rosario Dawson or somebody is just like, yeah, I don't need the money. I'm dating that really cringy... that really cringy politician guy. I don't need the money. Oh man. Yeah, Andor's doing well, so they'll retcon that as well. Yeah. Oh yeah. Have you guys? Oh, speaking of kind of okay Star Wars stuff. What's his face that did Rogue One? That was taken off of Rogue One, but mostly directed Rogue One. Have you guys seen The Creator? That was good. It was good. It was like actually enjoyable. I mean, some of the little things that happened in the story, they happened because they had to. Like, you didn't feel it didn't. Some of the action in the story happened because it had to. They wanted things to be in certain places at certain times. But the ending. But I also like Gareth Andrews. That's right. I like the fact that Gareth Andrews said, "Yeah, there's no sequel to this," and they left it kind of open-ended, like kind of interestingly hopeful and open-ended. But there's no sequel to this. Just like there shouldn't have been sequels to The Matrix. But Creator is definitely worth checking out because it's low budget, relatively low budget for what they were trying to do, and has some really interesting takes on technology and stuff. And it's basically America against AI Asia. So yeah, I would recommend The Creator. I enjoyed that. It wasn't amazing, but there are a couple of things that they did odd, but visually it was so interesting. And for that like $80 million budget or whatever, that's what we should be getting. We should be getting, triple that in these bigger movies, and we're not. But it was just a very interesting and fun story that changed enough locale and had enough like interesting technology and stuff that fun. Yes. AI already, dang. Yes, Creator, yes. I don't know how I saw it, but I saw it. I would recommend it. I don't know how I didn't see it. I claim that I have not seen it yet. My lawyer recommends that I tell you I have not seen it, but I would recommend it had I seen it. What's the next leap in AI? Don't tell us, Abyss. We don't need to know. I guess we should know what the enemy is doing. It's starting to understand underlying context now with image. Oh, yeah, I saw that they were talking about the Chat GPT or whatever can accept images. So you can input not only text but images. Oh boy, that's fun. Yeah, if you liked the kind of look and tone of Rogue One, not the goofy character stuff or whatever, I would recommend it. They did some really interesting things, and the little girl in it is a really good actress. Like, she is convincing. It's not one of those like kids that like totally disrupts every scene that they're in. She's like really good, and it's Denzel's son from Tenet that's in it. Yeah, good. Yeah, I mean it's lower budget, definitely. So, and I didn't see it, so I can't tell you anything about it. But I have no idea what it would look like in focus. Let me just say that. But yeah, I mean I can't comment on any of the CG or anything, and even the audio. Yes, but anyhow. But yeah, there's like a spiritual, because I think he liked the clash of like in Asia, the ancient and the modern, and so it had some really weird context stuff, because a lot of it looked like the Vietnam conflict, like an overpowered Western military force, and then like Viet Cong, but they're all robots, so it was just a weird, I'm not saying it's genius at all, but it was entertaining and interesting juxtaposition of like imagery. So like rebel fighters that are basically robots, in rice fields, like, firing AKs at these giant, high-tech drones and things. But no, it was just, and they didn't really answer the question, like what they just suggested, like it's very unclear about what that weapon is, and what the potential of it is, because they only suggested stuff. And I think that's why people want to, or might want a sequel to have that explained, but I think it's better that it's not explained. It's just it's just this next step. Abyss got flagged. You're raging against religions again. Yeah, it's not really like the chosen one or anything. It's like literally a technology, like they I forget what they're called, like the Asian Coalition that's hiding AI has a technological breakthrough, and the West says, "Fuck this! They're gonna use this to destroy us. Let's get them first." It's just, I thought it was enjoyable enough story. Some of it was like, okay, I guess they had to do that to make this work, but very interesting kind of juxtaposition of imagery that we haven't quite seen before, but and interesting that they made it a kid, that they put, because they have to put her then in danger and stuff, so that was interesting as well. That was odd, them doing that. I love sci-fi, but if I have a superpower when it comes superpower is bad content. Yeah, it's not a genius story, but I was just happy to see something that didn't like it didn't instantly turn me off from like something that they being very yellow card for not giving indie sci-fi a chance. Yeah, basically, an $80 million movie is an independent movie, is an indie movie now. Yeah, that's for sure. But no, I can totally get it, why the look of that and what they might be doing doesn't seem like it works, because it's not a complete idea, I think, and that's why maybe kind of J.J. Abrams style, some things are left to interpretation and left a little open-ended, because he didn't quite have everything kind of tied up. But good. I enjoyed it, although I haven't seen it, so I wouldn't know. Hera taking her kid into battle, worst parent ever. Yeah, that whole weird single mom thing was so weird. Whatever if it happened in the story, but yeah, in Ahsoka, she's like flying to get her kid, and he's all force sensitive and telling her stuff, but that's just depressing. Yeah, that made it extra weird. Oh, but I have to, the actress that played Hera, Mary, what's her face? She was the only person that actually acted in that entire series that actually like had her simple swallow, like that pause and her swallow when she sees Ezra, like that stupid contrived thing where he takes off the stormtrooper helmet. Oh, it's Ezra. But she actually acted. She actually had a reaction. She wasn't like, hey dude, like everybody else when they see Ezra has been gone for 10 years, lost to whatever in a different galaxy, and they see him and like, hey man, how's it going? Like every other actor was like, it was ridiculous. And she actually had just a great moment where she like almost got a little teary and just swallowed, and upon seeing him like had a little gulp, and you're like, oh, there we go, there's a human response. That was actually oh, there you go. Yeah, indie if it's original. Yeah, that's a good point. But yeah, I was happy to see somebody had a moment of actual acting in that series. Oh yeah, Abyss. Yeah, it's brutal out there. Yeah, Witcher was terrible. The Wheel of Time is coming to a pointless end, the second season. Yeah, taking kids into battle. That's great. Not connected to a franchise, and it's great that he's just saying, this isn't going to be a franchise. We're not going to do this again. This is a one-off. There's no Yeah, there's no sequel. They're webbing the game again. Oh, Endwalker is basically we are going to kill the past to move forward, so all the gods need to go. Oh, wow. Oh, interesting. Oh, I'll have to ask, yeah. I have to ask some players I know about that. I hope they hire some new story writers. Oh, interesting. Yeah, for an MMO, that's a pretty huge step. If you're talking about Final Fantasy 14, that's a huge step for an MMO. But isn't that like Final Fantasy 16? Isn't that all you're doing is like killing gods the whole time? So maybe that's just where they want it to be. Interesting. All right. Well, let me wrap up and let's do this again next week. So take a look for the brutal end of Plato's Cave tomorrow with Matt, Will, and Terry as we finish up our latest Star Trek adventure. Star Trek Adventures adventure. Nice. But very cool. Oh, and if so everyone that's on Patreon that's hearing this, please take a look at the community chat. So I'll start doing posts and being more active on there so we can kind of get some feedback and let me know what's going on with you guys. And that might be an easier way than direct messaging, to just have discussions and stuff, and we don't have to worry about comment sections and stuff. So yeah, there's a new community chat function on Patreon, and they changed the little P logo. So that'll do it for this week. So yes, more Trek tomorrow if you are around. So take care, everyone, and we'll see you then. And thank you so much for patrons and members. Oh yeah, I didn't do any of the Patreon stuff in the main cast, but or the member stuff. But yes, if you're enjoying this, click subscribe so that you're hearing it. Get notifications, and you can hear this. And then member content, so exclusive content if you click join in the membership, and you get funky badges and all that good stuff in the chat. So yes, so we'll be playing tomorrow, Abyss, if you want to tune in. So take care, everyone, and see you next week. Goodbye.